You know what? Look, the Jedi were asleep at the wheel. Let's just call it what it is. Because, you know, I just recall there was only one guy who had a workable plan at the end of the war, and I was trying to get some help.
What's up, guys? I just got back from MegaCon this past weekend. I was there on Sunday. It was so much fun. Seeing all the cosplays, seeing all the booths, seeing all the panels. It was crazy. The amount of celebrities that were there, the amount of people, the amount of booths. We were just there on Sunday, and you absolutely need multiple days if you want to see everything. Going to all the panels took up a whole chunk. I'm going to do multiple videos on MegaCon, going over like the Lord of the Rings reunion panel and all of that stuff. So this video is going to focus just on Star Wars. But anyways, you need multiple days if you want to see stuff, especially if you want to check out the cosplays and all the different booths from the different vendors and everything. We were like, after the panels, we were speed rushing through the vendors, and we didn't even get through half of everything. And then by the end, as we were leaving the place, we find out there was an entire other section, the exact same size as the area that we only got through half of. It's insane. I went to MegaCon a couple other times before in the past, but now it is massive. Like you need multiple days. But anyways, let's get into the good stuff. I got to meet Star Wars Theory, and that was super cool. Like we were just walking around, and then we were just coming from a panel and walking around, and we're like, whoa, that's Star Wars Theory's booth. Wait a second, he's literally right there. And so we just, walked up, said hi, got a picture. That was really cool. I was genuinely nervous meeting him, and I mean that's one thing I regret, being nervous. I mean I guess you can't help it, but like it was weird because we met multiple celebrities while we were there, but I was not nervous because it felt like you're just meeting another person because you're a fan. Like we met Josh Holloway, who plays Sawyer in Lost, and I'm gonna do another video about that. I didn't feel nervous at all, because you're meeting the actor. You're a fan of Sawyer, and this is a guy who played Sawyer. He's a different person than the person that you're a fan of, right? You're a fan of the character. But with Star Wars Theory, you watch him on YouTube and stuff. You're a fan of him, so seeing him it creates like this weird kind of a situation because you watch Star Wars Theory, you watch all these YouTubers on your TV or phone or whatever, right? And so you feel like you know them in a way, and then when you see them in person, you're like, hey, what's up, Theory? I've seen you before. I know who you are. And he's like looking at you like, I have no freaking clue who you are. And so, I mean, it like creates like this kind of weird dynamic or whatever. I mean, and also you could tell like he was crazy tired. Like he wasn't speaking much. It was like he was really tired. I mean, I get it, I mean, he's like, it's not like the celebrities who are there for like a few hours sitting at their booth, and then they leave and they go do a panel, and then like they're like the people at like the vendors and the exhibits and stuff. They're there representing their goods all day. So like the time MegaCon opens to the time to the time everybody leaves, they're there at their booths, So, I mean, I get it. You're probably tired. All those people, they're probably tired. Because we also met up with the people at Vader's Vault, and they looked tired also. I mean, it was the last day, it was like near the end of the day. People are tired, like the energy wasn't really there, So I get it. I'm not knocking anybody for being tired. But speaking of Vader's Vault, they made the lightsaber that I'm carrying around, the battle-wrapped Havoc, the weathered battle-wrapped Havoc that I'm carrying around. They made that lightsaber, and they make their lightsabers combat ready. So they're balanced, they're light, which is unlike Star Wars Theory's lightsabers, TheorySabers. TheorySabers are definitely cool. The technology in them is awesome. Like they pick up every single movement. They have like the newer chips that are out there where they pick up all these different movements. They have a whole bunch of different features and effects and all this stuff. But with that comes a weight. They're pretty heavy. They're nowhere near like Vader's Vault's lightsabers, where they're very light, they're nimble, like you can really fight with them. From what I understand, TheorySabers gets their lightsabers from TXQ, a Chinese company. They manufacture the lightsabers in China. They get rebranded and stuff. They get the TheorySabers branding, and then Star Wars Theory sells them as TheorySabers. A lot of lightsabers companies do that. They get these lightsabers that are made overseas, they rebrand them, and they sell them here in the US. Vader's Vault is a bit different. Vader's Vault their lightsabers are manufactured right here by them in the United States, which is why they're different. I got my lightsaber. I got my lightsaber in Force Awakens came out, and that's when I did my research. So the landscape of lightsabers might be a bit different now, but back then, what I believe, they were the only lightsaber company that were doing that and were making these battle-ready, combat-ready lightsabers. So I know they're good, and they have the new tech in them now where it picks up all your movements and all that stuff. So I'm a big fan of Vader's Vault. But that's where Nick Gillard comes in, and he and TheorySabers came together to put out this battle-ready lightsaber. It's just a handle and a metal, a carbon fiber rod coming out of it. So it's very light, it's very nimble. It doesn't have any effects or anything. It's literally a stick that you can fight with, and that's akin to what they used in the actual prequel trilogy. What Ewan McGregor, what Hayden Christensen used to fight and all that stuff. So I thought that was super cool. Unfortunately, I was really hoping they had a panel. Theory and Nick Gillard had a panel at 3 that day. Unfortunately, Nick Gillard couldn't make it, and so they had to cancel, and so I didn't get to meet him. But that would have been awesome, dude. Meeting the guy who did the choreography on the prequel trilogy, creating some of the absolute best fights in Hollywood history, like that, dude. That would have been awesome. So after that, we went to the whole community section where people in the community came together and recreated different sets and props and different things from the Star Wars universe, and I thought that was super cool. That was definitely one of the highlights. So I'll share those pictures with you right now, but while you're looking at those, I'll talk about something else. After we left the community section, we came back to TheorySabers. And that's when we met Terrence Carlson, the voice of Mace Windu in the Clone Wars and Kratos in the original God of War trilogy. Dude, that was super cool. That was really cool. I got to talk to him about Vader Episode 2 and Episode 3, the one he was working on with Star Wars Theory. But I specifically asked him about the God of War remastered trilogy, and if he's coming back to do his lines, like, because they're doing a remaster. I was curious because they used him in the original announcement. He was like, "I'm back. The original Kratos is back," and so I was curious if Sony was gonna bring him back to redo the lines from the original trilogy, or if they were just gonna remaster the lines that were already there. And he said Sony hasn't decided yet. They haven't made the decision whether they want to re-record with him or remaster the original lines, which I thought was interesting. Like, hearing that from him, I thought that was super cool. If it was up to me, I just remaster the original lines, because you're doing a remaster, but you still want to capture the same soul of the original trilogy. If you're re-recording the lines, you're gonna lose some of that soul. I personally would just stick to the original lines, remaster the audio, and put them in this new remaster. But I thought that was really cool hearing that from Terrence himself, that Sony is still unsure of which direction they're going to go with this God of War remaster. Now it's time for the Clone Wars panel. This was super cool. I'm literally watching Smallville right now, so seeing Sam Witwer in person, I was like, hey, it's Doomsday, But Sam Witwer was there, the voice of, obviously, Sidious and Darth Maul. They had the voice actor for Anakin Skywalker, for Obi-Wan Kenobi, for Asajj Ventress, for Padme. They were all there on this panel. That was super cool to see. We were all late to that panel, to the Clone Wars panel, because we were coming from the main attraction. I'm gonna do a whole video on that, from the Lord of the Rings reunion panel. That was super cool. But anyways, we'll talk about that in another video. So I didn't record everything. I was there sitting. I was enjoying. I was enjoying my time watching these guys. So I didn't record the entire thing, but the snippet that I got, I thought was pretty cool. They were talking about if they could change one thing about if they could change like a scene or something that they did in Clone Wars, what would it be? And so they go down the line with each of the actors and they talk about what they would have done differently. What Ahsoka said, I thought was really interesting. So anyways, I'll let them talk right here so you guys can watch.
I was never a fan. Yes, I was never a fan of Ahsoka having a boyfriend. And that's so weird for me to say, because I love love and I love stories. I mean, literally one of my favorite things about The Empire Strikes Back is like Han and Leia, and I love you, I know. Like, I love love. Ahsoka had many other things to do than have a boyfriend. I wasn't into it. So I was so ready for her to ditch Lux. And so this is the part I might get in trouble for, so y'all stick with me. Don't get me in trouble with Dave Filoni now. But originally, season 7, you know, the Martez sisters, Trace and Rafa, we did record those episodes before we got canceled, and it was actually 2 guys. And one of them, I think this is out there, right? Is this out there? One of the guys was a guy named Nick Sokami, and it was voiced by an amazing actor who was incredible, and we became friends. But it was Ahsoka's boyfriend, and I just was not a fan. So I was actually really thrilled when we came back and we got to re-record these episodes, and Dave changed it to the Martez sisters, and I thought it worked really well. So I wouldn't redo it, but we did get the chance to redo it, and the part that I would have redone got changed.
I forgot the original question, so we're just saying what would we redo?
Yeah, what line
Sure.
would you record with?
Oh, line. I would change the scene where Ahsoka leaves, and I think Anakin would just go with her.
I love that.
You love both.
I love.
I don't know, Kat's too fond of that
We
story.
can't start those rumors.
Well, Padme can join too. I feel like you guys are taking this in a complete different way than what I meant it. I didn't even, that's not at all what I meant.
Padme's gonna go with Maul.
Yeah. All right, if we're going there, then I was going to say, like, it's really hard for me to think about, because I feel like Ventris, when she could have done the wrong thing, she always ended up doing the right thing, even though she seems such a baddie. But, I mean, it sort of would have been fun if when she, like, for example, said, oh, looks like I've come to save you, she might have snuck in a little kiss.
Ah, yes. Oh, dear.
I mean, maybe that's just going far down, but we're getting weird. Like, everyone knows they wanted that. Like, just like a tiny, like maybe just a little, little pack. Even though I know your true love.
Red is my color. Blushing, you see.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah.
It's Clone Wars After Dark. I don't think I would change anything from the Clone Wars, but I would probably say that Padme should go to a hospital on Coruscant to have childbirth. Perhaps things would turn out better.
Sam, what about you?
You know, I actually have, there's something that always bugged me. Always bugged me. It was my fault. It was totally on me. It's fine in the episode, but I didn't feel like I did a good enough job of justifying why he was saying what he was saying. And it's this moment where he's on the Hutt homeworld, and they fight a bunch of bounty hunters. Him and Savage and Jon Favreau fight a bunch of bounty hunters. Previous load, right? And it's Embo and it's Lazarazi, and it's like they get into a big, furious fight. It's a pretty serious fight, and then they all, like, Embo's hat gets dented in, and the wolf gets knocked over, and they all start running away, and everyone's gonna go after them, and Maul says, they're only bounty hunters, they have no allegiance. And he calls his men off and goes, and it makes sense that he's like, no, we're here for the Hutt Council. Don't bother with them. But I thought, you know, when I see it now, I'm like, I should have put more thought into it, because it should have been more fun. You should have been like, that was a good time. Those guys are great. We might use them later. Let's go. Because he respect, you know, like the Maul that I know, especially in Shadowlord, respects the fact if someone can take care of themselves like that. But also, if there's we have no reason to kill those guys. We just defeated them soundly. They're running away. No reason to kill them. Let's deal with the Hutts. and he ends up killing the High Council, right? They have reason to kill those guys, right? But there's this very interesting line from Maul where he's like, let's not waste our time fighting people who are essentially just paid to go after us. There's no threat there, you know? So I thought I didn't do a good enough job of really showing the audience what Maul was thinking there, and also the fact that that fight for him was like, yeah, it was a good time, good job, get out of here, you know? That type of thing. But it still works. It works fine, either way it is.
So yeah, that was the end of my Star Wars adventures at MegaCon. I came home, I put up my robe, put away my lightsaber. Oh, by the way, I picked up a Obi-Wan Kenobi action figure from the Attack of the Clones. So it's literally an action figure that they put out way back when Attack of the Clones came out. I thought that was super cool. Because Obi-Wan Kenobi, Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I saw that and I was like, yo, this is $5. And it's a figure from way back when Attack of the Clones came out. I mean, that's cool. That's like Star Wars history right there. So I picked that up, man. I thought that was awesome. But yeah, man, that was my Star Wars adventures at MegaCon 2026. If any of you went to MegaCon, share your stories down below in the comment section. And I will see you all in my next video. It'll probably be another MegaCon video. I gotta talk about Lost. I gotta talk about Lord of the Rings. Gotta talk about a bunch of other stuff. So let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.